Of course, I think these guys trying to find out what remnant they can pull out of today. 22.2 remaining for the men up the road, 2 minutes and 36. When these guys finally cross the line and we get a definitive gap, then we'll take ourselves a commercial break and then we'll be back to see whether the breakaway can actually make it home. It's the sky that broke up today, and that, I think, has been a surprise to many. They saw 25% as a possibility of rain, but we were told by the organisers, no, that means that 25% of the course will be wet. And it's been the last 25% today, and that has been quite amazing for the men up the road.
It certainly has. We've got a general regroupment of the peloton as they come in from the drizzle to the start-to-finish line, and the gap is still over 2 minutes.
It is. They can hear the bell. 50 metres to go. It's not quite 2.5 minutes, though, is it? It's down to 2 minutes and 10. So the ticker just slightly out. Not surprised. I'm sure some of the relays have been knocked out. Is it enough? By the rule of thumb, it's just enough. But they've really still got to form themselves into a proper attack. If this is all they've got, then the breakaway can make it. Somebody's got to put something more into the drive to catch the two men up the road, who, we remind you, a decent time trialist, Dylan van Baarle and Johan Le Bon. Will they get there? Welcome back. The chase is on, but how much fortitude have they got on a day like this? It appears to be a washout. However, it seems they've got a chance, the pursuers, of catching the breakaway. The rain has been a major factor in this chase down. It's hampered them. There's been a big coming together, however, on the big highway here, where some of those out on the country roads got disengaged. They've refound themselves. The bell's still tolling on some of those that did not. They're way down the order. So we're on our final loop today in 22.4 kilometres for these guys who are just crossing the line now. Their day will be done, but there's a lot of work still to be done, particularly about the chasers. Alarm bells have been going off. Dylan van Baarle and Johan Le Bon are up the road, and they're having some fun, courtesy of the weather. Big factor and a big question, Brian, are they going to make it?
I think it's still touch and go. It really depends. Now we're starting to see André Greipel coming up, and we've seen him do this before. He wants to try and help out a little bit more panic in the peloton. What an effort that was from the single, I think it was Vliegen of BMC. What an effort he put in over the last 5-6 kilometres. Now we see a little bit more commitment from some of the other teams. André Greipel has decided, well, it's not going to be his day, but he's going to help out as suspected. They've got Thijs Benoot and Tim Wellens. Tim Wellens won last year, but BMC have put numbers on the front. You've also got Lotto NL Jumbo willing to help out a little bit. Still doable to bring these two riders back, but what a magnificent stage this is turning out to be.
Welcome back, British viewers. It is a nightmare for the chase, but they're engaging it, and it's just starting to ebb a little bit, at least in some of the covered areas, as you can see. More rain is predicted, however. It hasn't stopped just yet, and apparently we're going to get a heavier shower coming through in about 5 minutes' time. All this is conspiring to help the breakaway. These guys are on the Collenberg, as you can see. In fact, I think it's the breakaway that's on the Collenberg right now, which tells me that they've got less than 20 to go. André Greipel realises the danger. He's trying to help out the rest of his Lotto Soudal teammates. Thijs Benoot is Lotto Soudal's favoured man for the day, but Greipel sacrificing himself in the big push to try and catch the breakaway. Dylan van Baarle and Johan Le Bon are having a great deal of fun on a very wet day, and here it comes right now. They said 5 minutes, but it's bouncing off the road, as you can see. Stair rods, I think it's fair to say. Cats and dogs lying absolutely everywhere. This is a nightmare for the chase, and heaven in a very wet way for the breakaway. Will they make it, Brian?
I'm not too sure they will now, because there's a few teams now really committed. It was a big effort there by Vliegen of the BMC team, yet some riders still coming in 7 minutes down. We actually hit this finishing circuit of 22.4 kilometres pretty much all together, so it just goes to show you what damage was done over when the rain came on and gaps starting to appear. You can just see Van Baarle and Le Bon starting to sway a little. They're starting to feel tired, but they still have to believe they can hold off the peloton.
No time gap posted for the time being because the clock's out. It was out when they hit the line. It said 2 minutes and 38. I wondered why there hadn't been much change. We said it was solid. It wasn't. It had come back down to 2 minutes and 10. I suggest it's possibly under the 2 minute mark right now. We're playing guesswork, and we'll just have to wait until they come within sight. Even then, these guys have got a chance because they're decent time trialists, the pair of them.
The thing is, it's still a health advantage. Jempe Drucker now comes to the front. He's been sprinting well, but he has to be used up now. So again, a bit of a panic attack. BMC putting riders towards the front. So is André Greipel for Lotto Soudal. Lotto Soudal have got Tim Wellens and Thijs Benoot. Tim Wellens right up there on André Greipel's wheel in fourth place, but it's Jempe Drucker and Danilo Weiss, the Swiss champion, on the front of the peloton. They come onto this main road, so this gap is coming down, but just watch out for the team cars behind, because the team cars will come out that gap when it comes down to 1 minute.
There we are. That's going to be the only tell, I'm afraid. It's not a comfortable day for these guys, and they're just putting in the energy, as you can see.
Tom Bonin on the right-hand side.
Yeah, everyone wants a bit of fun today. Why not Tom Bonin today? If these guys don't make it, team cars, are they being called out?
So that's the car that sits at the front of the peloton, so one of the control cars. So that does mean the gap is inside 2 minutes now. I would say the gap now is about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So they're pulling out some of the cars. One of the referees' cars is now coming out. Lars Peter Nordaug for Team Sky, moving up towards the front. So this gap is coming down, but we can still see the team cars are just pulled over at now. So this gap is down to just over 1 minute.
1 minute 30 we're hearing from race control, but I think it's a little bit less than that. Shimano neutral service goes through right now. These guys almost being hampered by the splash. Watch this. There you go. You're wondering how wet it is, Brian? Brian described this as not much rain at all in Scottish fashion. Right now, I think we're building a new lock.
It's coming down from the side, not straight down. But the team cars have been pulled out, which means that the gap is down to just about 1 minute now. So I believe that it could be all over for these two riders. But what a magnificent display they have put on. So with the team cars now coming up, this gap is coming down quickly.
16.3. Now, I suspect the question is going to be whether they can hold on, not only out in front, but whether they can finish as part of the front group here and hold on essentially to the seconds bonus that they have taken. Here we go. It requires a big effort. It requires a big push, and Sky are happy to do exactly that. And why not call on the likes of Peter Nordhaug, or indeed anyone else who's used to these kind of conditions?
Well, he's trying to go from the front yet again. Lars Bohm was the rider to try to go with him, but still André Greipel's in there. Still a lot of riders left in this race. We come over the top of this climb. This gap is still over 1 minute. It does look as if the referees took the team cars out a little bit prematurely, but they know it's coming down. But again, the Katusha rider not wanting to push on, but what an effort André Greipel's doing in the red jersey there.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. He's quite happy to be a team player when required. And look how vertical these guys want to keep the bicycles coming into the corners here, which are very, very wet. Spat out to the other side, not a happy place to be. A lot of wobbling going on, let's put it that way. 15.7 kilometres to go. Still two brave souls up the road. And how narrow is this? Minute and 20. We've finally got a clock back in. They called out the cars early for safety reasons because they didn't want to start wrestling with the puddles, presumably, trying to get clear later on. So they have now just taken on the Sittardweg. That was 800 metres at 4%. They've got 2 more climbs to deal with, and then they can start thinking about the end of the day. Minute and 19 seconds. It's still not certain that these guys are going to get caught.
A big attack now by Lars Bohm. That was Quinziato at the front, but Lars Bohm really wants to take this leader's white jersey. He's looked around, saw that Lotto NL Jumbo are a bit of a disarray. Nobody really wanting to take this on, but this gap coming down 119 or 120 jersey now. 15 kilometres to go, but it's Lars Bohm trying to do something, but Quinziato is sharply up to his back wheel.
Well, as they start to wrestle here, and in fact as this has thinned out, they've got more chance of delivering, and that's what we're seeing right now. Nizzolo's also here, and Fabio Follin, the Italians from Trek Factory Racing, so the white shoulders are represented. 122 it says. Every single attack that we seem to have here is an attempt to draw out some assistance and firepower, and Bohm's elbow's going out like a dodgy disco dancer at the moment. He wants some kind of assistance and he's not getting it. His cheeks billow as he blows out as it on an invisible trumpet his disdain for the day, and in fact the efforts of those around him. But it's starting to roll now. More and more are fancying bridging this gap, or at least attempting to. What a day we have here, Brian. It's been absolutely enthralling. The rain has played its part, and this game is not over yet by a long way.
No, it's not. They're still hanging in there with 1 minute and 20. This gap is a problem here. It looks like for Lars Bohm, it can only be Lars Bohm has a rear wheel puncture, or is it? Try to look to see who it is.
Well, it's De Vries.
De Vries, Lawrence De Vries.
Yeah, and Lutsenko, I think, who would have been a big call for today.
Yes.
Yeah, Lutsenko it is. My goodness, that's not a great moment at all, and Lutsenko would have been one of the chosen ones. Bohm, of course, pushed on a few moments ago. Minute and 17, if we can trust that clock, it still looks reasonable. It's a possibility, although a narrowing one for the breakaway.
Certainly is. It's Quinziato still at front for BMC. Tim Wellens up there for Lotto Soudal. In the reds, Moreno Hofland in the yellow there for Lotto NL Jumbo is doing a very good job. Magnus Cort Nielsen over on the left-hand side for Orica Green Edge. Lars Bohm is still up there. Marco Mercato in the blue for Wanty Group Gobel.
And into the sunshine come the breakaway. Very wet roads remain. As you can see, there's a rainbow somewhere with this rain and this sun. Well, who's going to get the pot of gold? Will it be one of these two? Minute and 15, 14 Ks to go. They've got a fantastic chance today. Wow, is it coming to them, Brian? A minute and 15 normally wouldn't be enough with 13.9 kilometres, but this is not a normal day. It's a wet day, and these two guys are time trialists. They can do this.
They can. I still think it's going to be very difficult. There's a lot of riders behind still have to commit themselves. Once we get onto this main road, you can see Andy Greipel's there. Quinziato's looking behind. What do we do? Is he going to get any cooperation from anybody else? How many other riders are there from one team? Ethics Quickstep are nowhere to be seen apart from Nicky Terpstra now.
Well, they're all looking at each other. Who wants to do this? Anybody? Anybody fancy doing this? The answer for the time being is no.
That's the thing, is how many teammates are there for BMC. They've already used up some of their riders. Quinziato can chop off at least 20-30 seconds on his own, so he's just waiting for the call. What's happening? The trouble is the cars are behind. They might be experiencing some of the problems that we've experienced here in the commentary box with the television screens. They will not know what's happening. It's very difficult for the motorbikes to say how many riders are there, who's actually in there. So the sports directors will probably not know what's happening. The only people that know what's happening are the riders themselves, and they're looking around. And you can just see the size of the group now. It's only about 30-40 riders. Nobody in numbers. So with no team wanting to really commit, you can just see Philip Gilbert saying, come on, get together, we can help each other. And it does look as if BMC do not have enough numbers to do it themselves.
There we are. Everyone is kind of talking to each other. A little stroke on the back there from Nordhaug, and Phil Gilbert picks up the pace again. Minute 7, 12.8 to go. It could come right down to the wire. Bonus seconds could be a big factor today at the line. 10, 6 and 4, Brian.
It could be, but for Joos van Emden to keep that jersey, he has to bring this back another 40-odd seconds, because Van Baal started the day 29 seconds down. He's taken already 8 seconds, 21 seconds off that overall lead. I've not really seen where the white jersey is, if he is in fact in this group, but I know that Wilco Kelderman is. But Andrew Greipel still in this front group, but still no cohesion.
Look at them wavering all over the road. They don't want to help each other. And to be honest, they could be staring each other into the abyss right now. Big pickup from those behind us. 4 just tempo off the nose.
The thing is, nobody's taking control of the race. BMC look to be the only team that want to try and do something, but Joos van Emden is there in the white jersey. They're just sitting back if Lotto NL Jumbo want to win the stage, because I believe that if Lotto NL Jumbo puts a couple of riders on the front to help out this chase, they've got Moreno Hofland in here to win the stage, and they can keep a hold of that white jersey.
Well, why aren't they doing it? Because you're not on the blower, Brian. That's why. 1:06, 11.7 Ks. If that minute holds with 8 Ks to go, I think the breakaway have got a great chance. Let's see if they make it to that point, shall we? They're dispensing with the bidons. They've dispensed with the glasses long ago. Rain like bullets on the eyeballs. They don't mind that. They certainly won't as well, because it'll be tears of joy at the end of this day if they get home.
Yeah, there's only 2 climbs to go, and it's how much time will they lose and they take 2 climbs. It does look as if they do stay away, obviously there's 10, 6 and 4, but you can just see Van Baarle
that's why.
just kicking back ever so slightly
why
now.
Van Baarle took that very easy. There's the duck stall that's been visited earlier on today as well, and I'll be bound when the pack come through there, they're going to know all about it. He just eases back on. That was a safety issue. Just keep distance between each other. Yeah,
he knew he was going in, and obviously different people are confident with different capabilities and their tyres as well. So it did look as if Cannondale Ryder at the back there, Van Baarle just wanted to take it a little bit more easier.
Well, a squeaky duck moment, I think, and there'll be a few more before the end of this one. So back together, 1:06, 10.6 to go. Are you believing in them yet, Brian?
It's very possible. There's real no chase behind. Now we see Jan Bakelands for AG2R come towards the front. It really depends on these guys now. If they commit themselves, they help each other, then they'll bring these 2 riders back. If they don't and start looking around, then Van Baarle could be the new race leader. But who is going to win the stage? That's the question.
Big question. 10.2 Ks to go. 2 more days of classics racing to come, don't forget. The roads of Liège, Bastogne-Liège tomorrow. Here's your duck stall. I'd have moved those ducks back a bit, to be honest. Knowing what was coming. It'll ease off. There's no more real commitment behind these guys, I'm afraid. From this 35, 36 rider group that we've got here right now, they can't quite decide. I'm looking at the time, it says 1:08, 9.8 kilometres to go, and I don't see a great drive to catch this pair up the road. Maybe they think they can get them on other days.
The team cars are back in there, Carlton.
They are.
They now believe. So the Française de Dieu car and Cannondale car believe. You can just see the gap visually now. But the riders that were towards the front of the peloton weren't riders, weren't the domestics. It was in fact the leaders of the team. We can see as this Wallis of Top Spot Vlaanderen and Andrew Greipel prizing themselves off the front of the bunch.
Well, Greipel, why not on a day like today? He's probably got team dispensation to just have a pop. Kerkelaer trying to pick it up as well. He could be, if you get a decent finishing position today, narrow the gap, you're going to give yourself a good chance of a decent placement into Houffalize and to Gerardsbergen the next couple of days. There we go. 9.1 Ks remaining. 1:09. The break can make this, but will they? Desperate attempt by André Greipel to get back in here. Now, they get the choice of the crown of the road. It's not going to be something on offer to those behind. Please don't let that car that just accelerated rapidly towards them to get over that last little bump to get erroneously engaged in proceedings. Let's just hope not. It's lights flaring out. It really is a dance for you right now. But to what tune it's being set by these guys. What a tempo. We know that they can make it. 8.6. Now they've got 1 more climb to take. That's up to Vindrak for the last time of asking. This is 350 metres at 8%. They've dealt with it, Brian.
Yeah, it looks very much doable now. Van Baarle was given an opportunity in the Tour of Britain last year, took the rewards, the others miscalculated. I do think because of the rain, it really helped these 2 riders. It does look as if now they'll hang on to take first and second in the stage.
There we go. What's going to happen behind? This could be damage limitation. André Greipel is really powering into these little bergs, and it's good to see him as well, just going for it. I think this is to hell with it. I'm just going to do my own thing.
It looks like that. He's trying to keep it going, but he's drifting off the front of the peloton. Magnus Cort Nielsen was the first rider around that corner, but still no reaction. They're a little bit surprised here with BMC. Greg Van Avermaet and Philip Gilbert. I know there's still a couple of days to go, but when you get a sprinter disappearing up the roads, it means that there's no real chase in the peloton.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on a distance such as this. 180 kilometres, 179.6 today, 208.6. Maybe some of the guys here are thinking, you know what, we can take back the time that we lose today courtesy of the fact that they're 29 and 39 down, at least at the top of the day. Factor in the bonuses, though, and the big dangling bonus of 10 and 6 seconds for first and second across the line. It suits the breakaway. 7.7 kilometres to go, and just under a minute is what they've got right now.
But you know who the big losers are, Carlton? It's the team in the yellow. Kelderman's just coming across the gap now, but Kelderman's there. I think the Joos van Emden and one other teammate is there. If they committed themselves a little bit earlier, then they could have hold on to this white jersey, but it looks as if it's slipping out their hands now.
Looks as if it is, and Andre Greipel is leading the charge, and Kelderman alive to the danger.
Tim Wellens is also there, so
wow.
This is what they're trying to do. So Greipel went for it. Tim Wellens has gone with them. Just look as if that's Priedler for a Giant Alpecin behind. Bakalan's trying to come across. BMC start to see the danger, but what an effort Andy Greipel's put in today.
Yeah, fabulous effort indeed. So, can Lotto Soudal deliver, or is it all too late? Tim Wellens is there. He takes over right now. The camera bike just hits one of those sleeping policemen, those little traffic calming devices. 7.3 to go, 53 seconds. It's going to be a race. A very, very quick one. How depleted are the resources of our breakaway, having been a two-man act for most of the day?
The thing is, they have ridden together. They've ridden conservatively. We can see it in the sprints. They never sprinted each other. They saved a little bit of energy, and I believe that saving of this little bit of energy is going to help them to first and second in the stage. Whether Van Baarle, whether it's Le Bon, I don't think they'll start messing around, because both of them will be moving up in the general classification as well.
Just off the drive, as you saw there, because they were coming into a wet corner, and we remind you that there's still plenty more of those to come. The rain has stopped, so it's now playing back into the hands of the chasers, being led at the moment by Andre Greipel. But this is going to be a danger zone for them. Look at the debris, look at the dirt, look at the nastiness. You've just got to hope that these guys don't get themselves any kind of technical at this moment. They've got 44 seconds, 6.5 kilometres to go. Are the break going to make it?
It does look as if they are. If that time gap is right, 43 seconds, because it's only two riders. Andy Greipel has put in a hard effort already. Tim Wellens at the front, but I can't understand. Kelderman is there. Kelderman should be helping, should be riding, and okay, Magnus Cort Nelson can afford to sit back. He's not up there in overall, but this is a great opportunity now for Wilco Kelderman at the back to move up in the, he's already second in general classification, but try and take something from today, because I think that Lotto NL Jumbo, after a fantastic stage yesterday, it's all drifting away from him. See Tim Wellens say, come on, and they're shaking their head. No, Kelderman, get to the front, help them out, and try and win this race overall.
Andre Greipel on the radio, and he's not tuning into a jazz program, I can tell you that much. 40 seconds to go. This is heavy rock at the moment, and there's plenty of those on the ground. Just look at the water wash that we were telling you about. A lot of debris being brought out. It's going to be between these pair by the looks of things. 39 seconds with 5.7. They mustn't come off the gas too much though, Brian.
They can't come off the gas at all. If all of the five riders behind help each other, and it looks as if they're not, the Giant Alpecin rider doesn't want to help. And just see Tim Wellens sitting back, Kelderman just sitting on the back. Look, Kelderman's sitting on the back because they've got the race lead, but the race lead is disappearing out their hands down the road. So if I was Kelderman, I would be riding in this front group.
Well, they're coming through that dodgy section right now. This is Van Baarle, who just takes up time trialling duties out at the front, as you can see. Johan Le Bon as well. We remind you that their deficits yesterday were 39 and 29 seconds respectively. Van Baarle, the better placed of the pair of them. They're going to find bonuses. They found them along the way today on the golden kilometre. And in fact now they've got a 38-second gap, and there's 10 and 6 seconds available, first and second across the line as well. 4.9 kilometres to go, 38 seconds. I don't trust that clock, to be honest. It's been solid for a bit too long. 39, it's going back, it's lengthening. I saw Andre Greipel shake his head, and I think that was he was listening on the radio as well, because it was they were screaming in his ear. He's done his job essentially, but they were getting no help behind.
He's done a super job. Tim Wellens now comes to the front. The question for me is the rider at the back, Wilco Kelderman, should be riding with this group. Normally when you get the race lead, you don't help out, you can sit on, but 250 metres over the top of the climb, they should have 30 seconds at least, which I think is going to be enough to keep them away for the finish.
They've dealt with the climb actually. This Primus coming on a little flatter section, and they're still sharing duties. Out of the saddle, they just want to take on this little tiny ramp, nothing too serious. Then 4 kilometers from home, 36 seconds. What's the gap going to be ultimately though? That is going to prove crucial, and then it's a question of just holding on to that if these two do bring this home. It's tumbling down now, 32 seconds. You can't take anything for granted, not yet.
Yeah, it's always going to come down. Kelderman decides he comes to the front now, but Tim Wellens still in there. Greipel, what? I can't, I don't think he thought he would be here at the end of the day, but he's done a fantastic effort for his team. Magnus Cort Nelson just sitting in there. I still don't know who the giant Alpecin rider is, but Kelderman decides very late now he has to get involved. If he got involved a little bit earlier, he could be battling out for the win.
25 seconds now. It really is tumbling. 3.3 kilometers to go. I'm hoping it's not going to be heartbreak for these guys, and that the motorcycle just gets out of there, frankly. It's difficult sometimes for a motorcycle to take the traffic calming. They get it hit harder than the riders, but right now hitting it hard is Andre Greipel, and Kelderman doesn't. I don't know.
If Kelderman commits, he will take the leader's jersey and save the day for Lotto NL Jumbo if he commits 100% now.
Well, these guys have been near to 100% most of the day. Van Baarle sends the arm out. You can see the fatigue that's coming in. They're under pressure. Their team are informing them what the gap is. 3 kilometers to go, 22 seconds. Can they still make it?
I still think they can. 21 seconds now, 3 kilometers. You can just see them in the distance. If all these 5 riders behind commit themselves, then it's going to be a sprint finish, but I still think they'll look at each other. It's down to Greipel. How much has Greipel got left in the tank? Because he's the only one that is looking as if he is the instigator of bringing these guys back. 19 seconds now, and Le Bon takes a big look and he sees on the curve of the road that these guys are there. 2.8 kilometers to go. I think they're possibly going to get caught. Are they going to get caught though? It's going to be a big ask as they come down to this little dip. It doesn't look like 19 seconds to me. We'll time it for you in a few moments' time. My goodness, 2.7 kilometers to go. Have they done enough? These guys can, we've told you a number of times, time trial though. They've got to do an absolute belter now with 2.6 to go. Well, it's still hanging in there. The giant Alpecin rider is Jörg Priedler. So Priedler is the rider behind. Like I said before, if they all commit, they can bring these riders back. But still hanging on, still believable. So Greipel, Wellens, Kelderman, Priedler and Magnus Cort Nelson have got a slender advantage to shut down, and we move back to what's left of the peloton. BMC have really missed out today.
They're all rushing into this, rushing into the void. 2.3 kilometers, and Le Bon's stretched his legs. Well, it's proper racing from Le Bon right now. He suddenly realised, just look how nervous he is. Get out of my way, says the cameraman. Of course, allez, allez, and do get lost, for goodness sake. We want the pictures, but we don't want it to hamper the race. Allez, allez, he screams at the camera bike, and he finally listens and gets out of there. He's been too close for too long, Brian.
The thing is, Le Bon knows that Van Baarle is not confident in the corners, so he's trying to use that to his advantage. So he's trying to go for the win here by using the corners to his advantage. Van Baarle still got an opportunity to come back, but Kelderman starting to ride, but is it a little too late now?
Well, he's nervous as well. 1.6 kilometers to go. They're just out of sight in this village. Got to pick up the pace right now. This camera really does need to be told to get some distance between these guys. And there come the chasers. 1,400 meters to go. It's possibly going to be heartbreak for Van Baarle, but it looks like Johan Le Bon may well just hang on. Let's see what's left behind. Can Andre Greipel find himself something on this day? I think he's possibly thinking, yes, he can. 1,200 meters to go. The Flamme Rouge beckons.
Well, Jörg Priedler is now dropped, so Tim Wellens puts a really big turn in now. Van Baarle is almost coming back to Le Bon. I still don't think it's enough for the riders behind. I think 1 kilometre to go. Van Baarle is coming back. Who is going to win? Still in the balance.
Still very much in the balance. What a day we've had today. It's been a treat for you guys at home, I'm sure. You tune in on stage 5 of the Eneco and you don't think you're going to see much drama. Well, we've had plenty of it today. A cloud burst and it cast many an ambition asunder. We've got 2 time trialists at the moment against classics and sprinters, boys, behind. Can they deliver it? Here comes Van Baarle trying to get back on the wheel. wheel of Le Bon. It's going absolutely down to the wire, this.
Yeah, nail-biting stuff, and Andrew Greipel is actually burying himself for Tim Wellens. Kelderman is there, Magnus Cort Nielsen, but it looks as if the stage is between Van Baarle and Le Bon.
Well, they had to be very careful through the corners. They've taken just about the last one right now. They disappear out of view. There is Le Bon. There is Van Baarle. They've been out there for much of the day, and the chasers, I don't think, are going to catch them. 150 metres to go. What a fantastic stage this has been. Absolute brilliant stuff, both for Le Bon, who says my stage, and Van Baarle, who says thank you very much. Both of them can take a bow. Absolutely superb stuff. And what's left for everybody else? A time gap, some reverence, and maybe a story of what might have been. What a day.
What a day. And Magnus Cort Nielsen comes up and takes the third place there. Looks as if Thijs Benoot with Philip Gilbert battling out, so a bunch sprint taken by Thijs Benoot.
Wow, 10, 6 and 4 seconds, 10 and 6 going to Le Bon and Dylan Van Baarle. They did a joyous run today, and there may even be a gap between them of a second. I wouldn't be surprised. What a result for Johan Le Bon and Dylan Van Baarle, the pair of them youngsters, and they rode like seasoned pros today.
They did, but I think, doing my maths at the moment, Le Bon wins the stage, Van Baarle takes seconds, but it does look as if Wilco Kelderman has possibly saved the day for Lotto NL Jumbo and will take that white leader's jersey.
So close, so much to ride for. 2 stages remaining of this great race. Brian, today had just about everything for a cycle fan except sunshine.
Sunshine at the start, but yeah, if you're watching that race, it's you know what a magnificent race that was. You can just see, courtesy of the race radio, that they know France Edu have got their stage. When they tried with Demar the other day, it wasn't to be, got second, but this man, with the help nonetheless than Dylan Van Baarle, won the stage. So the 24-year-old Frenchman takes probably the biggest win of his career.
Back at the net. I think he's rather pleased with that.
Well, he used the corners. He used the corners to his advantage, and you know, if both of them deserve to win, so it was a great effort by both of them, not using too much energy by sprinting for the bonuses.
Johan Le Bon finishes same time as Dylan Van Baarle. That might be a factor. Magnus Cort Nielsen and Kelderman significantly 9 seconds down. Then came Greipel, who was so brave today. Philip Benoot, Gilbert, 27 seconds he shipped today. Likewise, Lars Bohm. They won't like that.
Not at all. Big losers so far are BMC. They did put a lot in the chase, but it never was to be. And you think when they started on the attack, when we come onto this circuit with Gilbert and Van Avermaet, it was going to be a good day for them, but luckily enough, Kelderman decided to cooperate with Greipel and Wellens and save the day for Lotto NL Jumbo. So he'll be the new leader of the race as the rider in yellow, but another good result for Magnus Cort Nielsen for Orica Green Edge. But that man set up this day absolutely perfectly for Tim Wellens, because Tim Wellens, number one in his back, going for the overall victory yet again, put time into these riders, especially the riders from BMC. So looking good, and a great effort from Lotto Soudal today.
Well, a lot of you enjoyed today. Michael Hutchinson in on Twitter. He's a great time trialist himself, as I'm sure you know, Dr. Hutch, and it was his kind of day, I guess, out there. And just setting your tempo, sticking with it and delivering. That's what the breakaway did.
Yeah, the guys, it's the riders that do the racing. You know, it's easier for us to commentate in the pictures, but what a magnificent day. Held on by the skin of their teeth.
Kelderman leads 1 second only from Dylan Van Baarle. Johan Le Bon 8 seconds adrift. Van Enden, Wellens, Bohm, Van Avermaet, Kinziato, Gilbert with 29 to make up. 2 stages to go. Terrific racing here at the Eneco. Tease it up nicely for the next couple of days.
It indeed does, but Tim Wellens, a big winner today. Kelderman came through in the end, saved the day, but it was touch and go for Van Baarle. But Kelderman decided to help, and to help he did in saving the day for the Lotto NL Jumbo team.
So no pressure of the leader's jersey on Dylan van Baarle. Could he do it again tomorrow?
I don't think he would want to. I think that was a hard day. Maybe, you know, he went for it, and, you know, he came up just a 1 second, 1 second off it. But a brave effort in the end. There's a lot to come from this young man.
Very much so. Brian's looking for a signature. 208.6 kilometres tomorrow to Houffalize. 10 pavé and berg sections to be dealt with. Liège, Bastogne-Liège, and of course Flanders for the final.